Each day in Edmond, over 53,000 cars move through the intersection of 33rd Street and Broadway. During the morning and afternoon rush hour, this intersection becomes very congested.
Traffic is basically the number one concern here with our citizens in the city of Edmond.
Edmond's engineering department observes these highly used streets and intersections by measuring traffic volume counts.
We'll go out and we monitor the traffic, we look at the volume of the traffic, the turning movements of the traffic, pedestrians, speeds.
The data collected from these traffic counts is applied to a points-based system that determines what road projects improve safety and traffic flow. Each year, Edmond spends $2 million on mill and overlay improvements to our streets. The city also uses money from the voter-approved 2000 sales tax to help with a specific list of projects. This helps with some of the upfront costs. However, large road projects can be very expensive, so the city applies for federal funding whenever possible. The state of Oklahoma receives roughly $600 million annually from the Federal Highway Administration. Most of that money goes to the Oklahoma Department of Transportation for road projects they have planned throughout the state. Around $20 million of that is sub-allocated to the Surface Transportation Program, which is overseen by the Association of Central Oklahoma Governments, or ACOG, located in downtown Oklahoma City.
ACOG is a regional council of governments. It's one of 11 in the state of Oklahoma and hundreds throughout the country. We have members that represent the communities throughout the central Oklahoma region. Its main purpose is to provide a forum that communities, local governments, cities and counties can come together and coordinate and plan for areas of common interest that go beyond city and county boundaries. They're more regional in scale.
Some of these larger scale areas of interest deal with air quality, water quality, economic development, and transportation. ACOG is the entity with authority on traffic project selection and spending authority over the federal funds they receive. Cities within central Oklahoma like Edmond, Oklahoma City, Moore, and Norman must apply for these funds using the data they have collected on their roadways.
There are several different criteria that we look at that the score is based on. Traffic volume is one of them. Volume to capacity ratio is another, and that's just simply how much traffic is the road carrying and what's it designed to carry. Is it overloaded or not? Accident history, we look at the impact on air quality is another criteria, and then also project readiness. The projects that score the highest generally are the ones that are going to be funded.
When we go through that process, we can get 80% of the construction funding back to the city. So let's say it's a $5 million project. The federal government would pay $4 million of it, and the city only has to pay $1 million, so it's an 80-20 split. However, we still have to pay for all the engineering, all the right-of-way, moving all the utilities, and it takes several years, but when it's all said and done, it's about a 50-50 split.
There's also a certain amount of money that's available for safety projects.
Examples of those are like guardrails, pavement markings, traffic signals, school zone improvements, and those are eligible for 100% of the construction cost.
Cities must apply for those too. Recently, Edmond received safety projects funding on bike signage along Boulevard and the I-35 frontage roads.
We really try and be good stewards with the taxpayers' money and stretch that and get as many matching funds as we can. I understand we may delay a project a year to get that, but if we delay a project a year but we're able to get $7 million, then that's $7 million that we didn't have to spend that we can use somewhere else on another project.
So let's go back to the congested intersection of Broadway and 33rd Street. After identifying a definite need, the city applied for and received federal funding for improvements to that intersection.
We have a project to add right turn lanes at the intersection, some left turn lanes, redo all the pavement, and redo the signals to make them accommodate those new lanes.
The total amount for that improvement is nearly $5 million. 60% of the construction costs will come from federal funds, while the city will pay for the remaining 40%. Other traffic projects planned and designed are the widening of Covell to I-35, improvements to the intersection of Danforth and Kelly, and the widening of Kelly north of Coffee Creek, all the way to Waterloo. On busy roads like 2nd Street, it's not feasible to further widen the road. Engineers have to find another solution.
The only way really to create that capacity is to make our signals more efficient.
Edmond is in the process of installing an intelligent transportation system using cameras, improved communications infrastructure, and computer systems. Traffic along these busy streets can be better observed and directed.
With ITS, we'll be able to real-time monitor the traffic on a video wall.
Signal lights can be controlled during congested periods, construction activities, maintenance activities, and incidents that involve traffic collisions and other emergencies.
Let's say a car breaks down in the right lane at a signal, but there's no cars coming. It's the only thing there. Well, the signal keeps detecting that car's there, and that's backing the traffic up on the opposing or the side traffic. So this new system will allow us to be able to real-time see what's going on out in the field and adjust as needed.
For more information about the intelligent traffic system or some of the road projects going on right now, you can visit the city's website, edmondok.com. If you see a problem with one of the signals in Edmond or a safety issue with one of Edmond's streets, please contact the engineering department at 359-4770.
We gladly investigate all those requests to determine if something needs to be done, what needs to be done, how can it be done, and then if it's a project that needs to be scheduled, we'll go to the city manager and the city council and say we need funding for this so we can start the design and go from there.